Hello, everyone. My guest today is Marc Murphy with over 20 years of experience in the technology industry. He's helping to revolutionize manufacturing sales enablement technology as part of the global Industry 4.0 movement. His company, Atlatl Software, offers a portfolio of disruptive software solutions that are most efficient way to transform sales prospects and opportunities into customers while driving revenue in a matter of minutes. Marc, are you ready to take us to the top?
I am. Nathan, Thanks for having me on.
You bet. So my audience is usually kind of streamlined SaaS products. You're in a very niche space. So I want to quickly try and tie that gap so my audience can follow along. Should they think about you kind of like Salesforce for manufacturers?
Very vertically focused SaaS product, yes.
Okay. All right. So go deeper there. Tell us more about the product.
So we're essentially a sales automation, sales enablement platform. But what we're doing differently is we're using the Unity gaming platform. So think of a very rich user experience based on visual content and augmented reality to create a really unique sales experience for buying and selling complex products. So in an industry in manufacturing that was very based on physical products, catalog sales, showroom, we're now moving that into a really visual platform, a visual experience, and now extending it with some really unique AR technology.
And you're talking about selling like bulldozers and things like that.
Yeah, big, non-sexy manufacturing products, but there's a lot of them and the market's massive.
Yeah, look, I don't mind non-sexy. That usually means less competition. People are looking past it. So maybe you've struck a gold mine here. Okay, good. So I'm a manufacturer. I'm Caterpillar. Is Caterpillar the person paying you, or is it the buyer?
The manufacturer, the OEM, is the person paying us, and they'll pay for their salespeople. So our tools in the hand of their salespeople. So they'll pay for the license or push it down to their dealers and their distribution network, which is where we get really excited because that's where the SaaS kind of network effect starts. And they'll pay for the dealer's license as well, all in an effort to sell more of their products quicker.
Okay, but if I literally looked at all the credit cards in your system, all your current customers, it's going to be like the Caterpillar, it's going to be the manufacturers of the world, and they're paying for seats for their dealerships.
Absolutely, yes.
Interesting. Okay, hone that in for me a little bit. What would you say the average kind of manufacturer is paying you per year for the software?
So it's an enterprise piece of software. So we have kind of a dual revenue model where we are doing some implementation and setup on a services-based model. Mainly because the visual effects take some time to set up, and then it's a typical SaaS model running anywhere from about $250K to $500K to the larger, seven-figure ARR deals. So,
okay.
As SaaS products go, it's B2B, so it's some healthy revenue.
Yep. Would you say $250,000 in terms of first-year ACV is pretty average for you, though?
Yes.
Okay,
yep.
Very good. And what is the ratio between your setup and implementation fee relative to first-year ACV?
So it's about a 1-to-1 carry. We try to keep it about that. For customers that have a lot of models, it may tip the scales to about 2-to-1. But as we are really focused on connecting to their bottom line, these are very long-term relationships. So the payback period for us is pretty quick as it relates to a typical SaaS company.
Yeah. So just to be clear, on a $250,000 year one kind of software contract, you might charge, $250,000 just to get everything kind of set up and rocking and rolling.
That's right. That's right.
That's great. So what is it to acquire that customer? Are you basically spending the setup fee?
We've been pretty efficient, and I know this won't last forever, but this idea of the Industrial Revolution, Industry 4.0, has really created a demand. So right now we're really just inside sales and taking inbound calls for our technology. So I know that won't last forever, but we're being pretty efficient on our sales costs and keeping our CAC pretty honed in right now.
What would you say CAC is on that kind of an account?
It's ranging from about 90 to 100K.
Okay. Yeah. So you're getting paid back then immediately because of the setup fee.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're probably underspending in marketing right now due to the market demand, and that'll change over time as the market gets more competitive. But we're out in front with this visual technology. We're creating a category all our own. So we're taking full advantage of that right now.
Yeah. Put this on a timeline for us. When did you launch?
So, we had a early version of the product prior to me getting here. But, I always feel like we're about a 2-year-old company. We spent about the first year I was here rebuilding the platform for scale. Took an early version of the product that was created by a founder and rebuilt it for scale. We've been out in the market about 18 months now, and experiencing some pretty early success.
So early 2017 is really when you got in the company and restructured it.
I got there late, mid 16, started restructuring, mainly on the product side, and we relaunched about a year after that with the product that's out in the market right now.
And when did the original founder launch the original company?
2014.
And help me understand that transition. This happens with a lot of original founders. A guy like you comes in and it's a good decision for everybody. So what happened there? Was it flat? Did you come in with a VC round?
Non-institutional capital, an investor, a family office investor that saw the technology, was very interested in the power of the technology, saw a vision for the market, and came in for the early funding. It's really kept us funded to date.
Just to be clear, though, they were an investor before they brought you in, were unhappy with the growth, brought you in, invested more to restructure?
Yeah, I think it's a scenario you've probably seen before where the founder, reached an inflection point where, his experience and background just couldn't take the company to the next level. So between him and the board, they decided, they needed some new leadership. And, I think a lot of good companies realize that and change. Some companies don't realize that and suffer.
Yeah, nothing not normal there happens all the time. So how much has the company raised to date?
Non-institutional investor, so about 12 million.
Okay. And when you say non-institutional, you're just referencing it's a family office, not like a Sand Hill Road. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. And since you've come in, so you came in kind of mid 2016, there's a restructure that happens, additional funding, it sounds like. What have you scaled to in terms of total customers today?
So we have 250 customers sitting around 15 to 1,600 licenses.
And are those seats, basically, that's the dealerships?
Seat cost, right. A seat license.
Okay. So, 250 customers though at a $250,000 ACV, that puts you, I think, at like $5 million-ish per month in revenue. Is that accurate?
No, we're at about five. We're going to close in at about. We should close 19 at about $5 million in revenue ARR.
And this year will be about what?
This year?
Yeah, you said you're going to close 2019 at $5 million. What about closing 2018?
I'm sorry, closing out the year at this year, 2018 at $5 million.
Oh, I see. Okay, so that would put your monthly revenue at about, call it 400, 500 grand per month, which would mean if you've got 250 customers making up that revenue, they're each paying about $1,000 or $2,000 per month. Is that right?
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, and there's some legacy licensing before I got there that we just kind of accept right now on our book, but going forward, we're getting some consistency in the licensing costs.
Yeah, is that kind of code for, again, there's grandfathered people you want to keep happy, lower price point, but moving forward, your first year ACVs are really all in the $250,000 range.
Yeah, that's right. And, we're experiencing what we call some good churn right now, is to try to kind of sunset some of those early customers that really weren't a fit as we look to continue to restructure for success.
If you called up today, all those 200 customers, or emailed them, the 200 early ones, you got 50, let's say you have 50 new ones at the higher price points. If you call up all the old grandfather 200 people and say, hey, guys, unfortunately, we're increasing price point from $24,000 ACVs to 10xing that to $250,000 ACVs. Would you ever do that? And how many of them do you think would actually take the new pricing because there's so much value there?
I think, contractually and legally, I've looked into that, and, there's some restrictions on how those contracts were structured before I got here. But, we've had value-based discussions with a handful of them and upgraded them to new paper and our new platform based on the new capabilities we're building in the new product. So, I think, and we will continue to do that. I'm going to continue to look for opportunities to bring legacy customers onto our new platform based on new features and value.
Yep.
And I want to retain the ones that want to be on the platform and, offer them new features and development.
And with $5 million in kind of run rate today, where were you exactly a year ago, October 2017?
We were at about 1.7.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, pretty significant growth then.
Yeah, and it's market demand, and the size of those contracts, as you can imagine, we're able to build up revenue fairly quickly.
You mean adding the new customers on the new price point?
Right.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But I mean, you're basically going from about 150 grand a month up to 400 grand a month. I mean, that, again, really good growth there.
Very good growth. And we expect, 2019, 2020, we're going to start continue to experience that kind of growth, that kind of percentage growth. Again, mainly driven by, the power of the technology and it being a category leader.
Talk to me about churn. You mentioned some good churn, but what I'm hoping you say is your logo churn is higher than usual, but your revenue churn is really low because they're low ARPU accounts.
That's exactly right. And they high customer service touch. So I think there's a lot of the good churn concept made a lot of sense to the board. It made a lot of sense to me, and the outcomes hit us in a couple of different areas where we're not spending a lot of customer service time on low revenue customers, and we're eliminating and streamlining some legacy platforms.
Marc, what's the delta there? So what is, if you measure on logo churn, what is logo churn per month?
We've contained it to about 2%.
Okay, and if you then change that to revenue churn, what is it?
It's pretty low because of the price point those customers were paying previously.
Less than 1% per month?
Yeah, absolutely, right in that range.
Yeah, interesting. I don't think you have yet a year of cohort data, but do you have any sense yet on if you're going to be able to drive net revenue retention above 100%?
I think so. Like as you said, we don't have the game footage quite yet. The way I look at it is we are so connected to the customer's bottom line. When a customer commits to moving their product catalog into our visual platform, we are literally selling their bottom line through our platform. So there's a high level of stickiness. If we do good CS and produce a good product with innovation, I think these are going to be long-term relationships with very little churn. I think, in fact, we're going to see opportunities to push more and more of our seats into their sales channel as they see success with our platform.
Yep. What's team size today? How many people?
45.
Everyone based in North Carolina or South Carolina?
Yeah, fortunately, everyone under one roof, which is really, really exciting. We have an outsourced team that's doing some QA and model development, but other than that, all 45 are under one roof. That's great. Any plans right now to raise additional capital? We're going to experience a really great fourth quarter, and I think that's going to be my indicator for how much gas we can put on this thing for growth. So I'd like to see a new round in first or second quarter, really based on acceleration.
Marc, would you ever consider, just to preserve some of your equity, would you ever consider venture debt?
I think that's certainly on the table. I think there's such growth in this space, such interest in this manufacturing tech space. We're going to get a lot of looks at different ways to structure this.
Yep. Have you used venture debt before in any other past companies?
I have not. Just pure equity, and we had an exit in my last company as well.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, very good. Let's wrap up with the famous five, Marc. Number one, what's your favorite business book?
Hard Things About the Hard Things.
And number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
CEO I follow is G2 Crowd, Godard Abel. He's built 2 successful companies in my space. I think he's done a great job at G2 Crowd.
Number three, what's your favorite online tool for building your business?
Hands down, Slack.
And number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
So we're in a major go live right now, so it's close to 0 based on stress, but typically 6.5.
Okay, and what's your situation? Married, single, kiddos?
I'm married with 3 girls.
3, wow. Full house. How old are you?
47.
47. Last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Take risks only when you can bet on yourself.
Guys, take risks as long as you're betting on yourself. Atlatl Software launched or really relaunched 2016, 2017. Today, doing about $5 million in terms of run rate, or about 400 grand per month. That's up from 150 grand per month just a year ago. $12 million raised, about 250 customers in the manufacturing space, helping them really close deals faster, really by selling to the OEM or the manufacturer. The manufacturer's buying seats for other dealerships. 2% logo churn per month, less than 1% revenue churn per month, spending 90 grand to acquire a new customer. So quick, healthy payback period, especially because of setup fees they charge up front. About 45 people based in South Carolina building this thing out. Marc, thanks for taking us to the top.
Nathan, it's great being on. Thank you.